Guys, can you believe it's November already? Can you believe that? It's almost Thanksgiving and then Christmas. My favorite holiday is Christmas. Yes. Ooh. So, we're going to read from Miss Junie B. This one is going to be a long one, so I divided, I think, in 3 videos. I'm hoping I can get through in 3 videos. Turkey. Turkey we have loved and eaten, and other thankful stuff. From Junie B. Jones. Let's see. It has 12 chapters, so it's a long one. This is Miss Junie B. What is she drawing there? She drew a turkey. She made a turkey. The contest. Monday. Dear first grade journal, today is the month of Thanksgiving. At Thanksgiving, we draw a lot of turkeys. Also, we draw pilgrims and Native Americans. They are eating at a table usually. Both of them seem to enjoy squash. I do not actually understand pilgrims. Their costumes look hottish and sweatish. This week, Room 1 is making a list of the stuff we are thankful for. After we get done, we will put our list in a school contest, and the room with the bestest thankful list will win. Also, we are having a Thanksgiving feast on Wednesday. Our families get to come to school. Thanksgiving is a lot of work. Your friend, Junie B., first grader. I closed my journal and thought about squash. I thought it was pumpkin. Is it the same thing? Bluck, I said out loud. I hate squash. May did a frown. Shush, Junie Jones. Can't you see that I'm still writing? She said. May is the girl who sits next to me. I am not thankful for her. Just then my teacher, Mr. Scary, stood up at his desk. Boys and girls, it's time to get started on our thankful list for the school contest, he said. Can everyone please put your journals away? Yes, we shouted back. Yes, yes, yes. Then all the children slammed our journals shut, very happy. Slam, slam, bam, slam, bam, slam, slam. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheek at us. He made us open our journals again, and we had to shut them quietly. It was a slamming lesson, I believe. Finally, he moved on. Okay, last night's homework was to write down some of the things that you're thankful for, he said. He picked up a piece of chalk. Today, I will start printing our thankful list on the board, he said. We will work on the list today and tomorrow. I got lost for a minute. And then we will enter it in a school thankful contest. A boy named Roger raised his hand. Do we get a prize if we win? He asked. I always try harder if there's a prize involved. Mr. Scary did a frown at him. We're not doing this for a prize, Roger, he said. We're doing this to celebrate the things we're thankful for. Roger tapped his fingers on his desk. So, is that a yes or no on the prize? He asked. Mr. Scary stood there for a minute. Then all of a sudden a smile came on his face. We did not expect that. Okay, fine, Roger, he said. I was going to let this be a surprise if we won. But yes, there is a prize for winning the contest. Oh my goodness. All of Room 1 perked up their ears. 'Cause who doesn't love prizes, of course? What is it? What is it? We called out. What is the prize? Tell us, tell us, tell us. Mr. Scary walked back and forth, very thinking. He said he was really not supposed to tell us the surprise. But then, he didn't wink. And he told us anyway. The winning class is going to get a homemade pumpkin pie, he said. He smiled real big. And here is the best part. The pie will be made by our very own lunch lady, Miss Gladys Goodsman. After that, all the children just sat there. We didn't say any words. Instead, our faces turned kind of sickish. We slumped way down in our chairs. I wonder why. Do you know why? Finally, I raised my hand. Pumpkin pie makes me vomit, I said. My friend Herbert nodded. Me too, he said. Pumpkin pie makes me vomit too. Me 3, said my other friend named Shirley. Me 4, said the boy named Lenny. My grandmother's pumpkin pie sits in my mouth like a big wad of goop. Glop. Roger looked at Mr. Scary. A prize that makes us vomit doesn't seem like much to shoot for, he said. Mr. Scary sat down on his desk and rubbed his head. Okay, let's just forget about the pie, he said. Really, this contest is not about winning a pie. This contest is about appreciating all the wonderful things in the world that we're thankful for. He looked around the room. If we're lucky enough to win, the real prize will be how proud we feel about doing our best, he said. A first grade class has never won this contest before, but I think this class has a great chance. You're definitely the most creative first graders I've ever had. Roger stood up. Now that I believe, he said. My brother Rodney was in your class last year, and Rodney is adult. What's adult? This word. Adult. I don't know what that means. Mr. Scary closed his eyes. Then he rubbed his head some more. This was not going to be a good morning, probably. Chapter 2. Some thankfuls. Some thankfuls. Mr. Scary moved on again. Okay, boys and girls, let's really get started now. If you please take out your homework papers, we'll begin sharing our ideas. Who would like to go first? I could pull out my homework. Me, I shouted. Because I have 4 excellent thankfuls. I am not even kidding. Then I sprang up like a spring. I started to read my thankful list. First, I am thankful for the turkey I love at Thanksgiving. Second, I enjoy the gravy. Plus number 3, I'm thankful for the kind of cranberry jelly that comes in a can. Only even when you take it out of the can, it still keeps looking exactly like the can. I looked at my teacher. That stuff is like magic, I said. I do not know how farmers grow it in that shape. She's so silly. Mr. Scary stared at me a real long time. I looked back at my list. Oh, and here's my favorite one of all. I said, I am thankful for the kind of biscuits that come in a tube. And then you bash them on the counter. And they come exploding out. And everybody jumps. Plus also my brother Ollie starts to cry. I grin real big. That is just a fun bunch of biscuits. I wonder what those are. My friend Herbert jumped out of his seat. I can't believe it, Junie B. I'm thankful for those biscuits too, he said. He quick grabbed his homework page and held it up. Look, see? It's right here on my paper. Exploding biscuits. After that, me and Herb did a high five. Woo! And a low five. And a medium five. Oh my goodness. A fist bump is when you knock your knuckles together. Sometimes it can be painful. May threw back her head at us. Oh, no, she said. That cannot be true. Both of you did not write that by yourself. You copied each other. I know you did. Who in the world is thankful for exploding biscuits? All of the children thought for a second, then one by one, they all started to shout. Uh-oh. I think they're trying to check if they wrote the same thing. And oh, they're fist bumping. Oh, I am too, they shouted. My friend named Sheldon Potts sprang up from his chair. Me too, he called. One time I ate 6 exploding biscuits right out of the tube. They weren't even cooked yet. Oh my God. All of our eyes popped out of our heads, 'cause that was the greatest exploding biscuit stories we ever heard. We looked back at Mr. Scary. His eyes were stuck on Sheldon. You're a fascinating little boy, Sheldon Potts, he said. Yes, I know. You keep telling me that, said Sheldon. Mr. Scary smiled. Then he turned to the board and he wrote the word thankful list. Okay, Junie B, how about if you pick your top 2 favorites? We'll start the list off with them. I stared at my paper, very thinking. Then I told him my 2 favorites. Mr. Scary printed them on the board. Cranberry jelly in a can and exploding biscuits. See right there. He took a step back. Well, just as I thought. We're off to an interesting start, he said. He turned back to room 1. As we continued, if you brought a long list, please just pick the 2 things that you're most thankful for, okay? Okay, we shouted back. My friend named Lenny waved his hand to go next. All right, Lenny, your turn. Tell us what number 1 thing in your life that you're most thankful for. Lenny yelled it out. Nipsey Doodles, he said real loud. I love Nipsey Doodles. I don't know what that is either. Mr. Scary's face went funny. He did not move for a minute. Then finally his eyebrows raised to the top of his head. Nipsey Noodles? Len, he repeated kind of quiet. Really? That's the number 1 thing in your life you're thankful for? Nipsey Doodles? Lenny nodded. Then he checked his homework just to be sure. Yes, he said, Nipsey Doodles is number 1. He smiled. They're tasty little cheese snacks, unlike any other. I've never heard of those. Mr. Scary nodded very slow. Yes, I know, Lenny. I've heard the commercial. I'm sure they're very tasty, but just out of curiosity, what is the number 2 on your list? Lenny's face started to beam. Number 2, rainbow sprinkles, he yelled. All of room 1 started to clap. Because the whole world loves rainbow sprinkles, of course. Mr. Scary didn't move again. They're all thinking about food. Then finally he picked up the chalk and he added Lenny's 2 thankful to the list. Nipsey Doodles and rainbow sprinkles. Number 3 and number 4. He stepped back and took a big breath. Alrighty, let's take another look at what we have so far. We have 4 delicious food items, don't we? Just remember, there are other things to be thankful for too. Right, boys and girls? Right, we said. We thought and thought. Like what? Mr. Scary chuckled. Well, for one thing, in our country we're lucky to have freedom, he said. Freedom is the reason the pilgrims came to America. He looked around the room. Did anyone put freedom on your thankful list? All the children looked at their list. Then everyone shook their heads no. Roger stood up again. We're only 6, he said. We don't really have any freedom. We thought for a second, not even allowed to cross the street by myself. Me neither, said Shirley. I have to stay in my own front yard. Jose raised his hands. I have to go to bed. at 7:30. And half the time it's still light outside, he said. Herbert stood up too. Well, wait till you hear this one. I have to eat cooked carrots, and I don't get a cookie after dinner, he said. Just then Sheldon slapped his hand on his desk and he shouted real loud, and I am forced to take a multivitamin, he hollered. Does that sound like freedom? Mr. Scaryquick held up his hand. Okay, calm down, everyone. I get it. He looked back at our thankful list. Then he nodded at us very thoughtful. Boys and girls, you're absolutely right. And you can be thankful for whatever you want, he said. The list should be exactly what you want it to be, not me, not the contest judges, not anyone else but you. He smiled. Thanks for showing me that, he said. You're welcome, he said back. We're a polite group. Mr. Scary looked happy again. All right. Who would like to go next, he said. Remember, whatever you say will be perfectly fine with me. Sheldon jumped up. Toilet paper! I'm thankful for toilet paper, he shouted. Mr. Scary. Me too. Mr. Scary's eye got big and wide, but he quick snapped out of it. He printed the words on the board. Number 5. Toilet paper, he said. Sheldon grinned real excited. We're going to win this contest for sure, he said. He did a thumbs up at room 1. Then all of us did a thumbs up back, except not actually Mr. Scary. Chapter 3, Thankful Bags. Tuesday. Dear first grade journal. Today is still the month of Thanksgiving. But hooray! Now, what is the month of Thanksgiving? What is this month? Oh, I have my calendar and I took it out. November. We are going to have show and tell for the whole entire day today. That is because yesterday Mr. Scary gave us thankful bags to take home with us. And today we had to bring them back with something we are thankful for. We are keeping them a secret till show and tell. I brought something that I love very much. Here is a helpful hint. It is not my brother Ollie. Your friend Junie B, first grader. I put down my pencil and I looked around the room. All the children had their thankful bags next to their chairs. Some of the bags look empty. Some of them look foolish. My thankful bag looked middle-ish. I picked it up, put it on my desk. Then I leaned over and I tapped on May's arm. My thankful bag is middle-ish, I said real pleasant. May did not pay attention to me. I tapped on her arm again. You're probably wondering what is in my bag, but I cannot tell you. On account of it has to stay a surprise until show and tell, I said. May turned her back on me. This time I tapped on her head. Helpful hint. It's not my brother Ollie, I said. Just then May exploded out of her seat and she tattletaled real loud. Mr. Scary! Johnny Jones was not stop bothering me. Oh my gosh, look. She was tapping on her head. Mr. Scary frowned his eyebrows at me. I waved my finger very friendly. Hello, how are you today? I'm fine, I said. I was just showing May my thankful bag. I held it up in the air. It is middle-ish, I said. Mr. Scary kept on frowning. I put my bag on my desk and I folded my hands very polite. Okay, I guess that about wraps it up. Mr. Scary got a teensy smile on his face. Sometimes he enjoys me, I believe. Pretty soon, he stood up at his desk. He clapped his loud hands together. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to get started with our very special day of show and tell, he said. Please put your journals away and arrange your chairs in a circle. We slammed our journals shut. Slam, slam, bam, slam, slam, bam. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks at us. We quickly opened our journals again and shut them very quiet. After that, we put our chairs in a circle. We got ready for a whole entire day of show and tell. Woohoo! I said to Herbert. This is a dream come true. A whole entire day with no learning? Herb laughed and clapped. I wish every day had no learning, he said. Me too, I said. If every day had no learning, school would be a lot more popular. May butted into our conversation. Well, I am thankful for learning, she said. There is nothing I like better than learning, learning, learning. After that, she started skipping around her chair. I did a glare at her. Here is a suggestion, I said. Why don't you skip on home? Oh my God. She said to go home. May stuck out her tongue at me. Just then, Mr. Scary clapped his hand again. Okay, everyone, make sure you have your thankful bags at your chairs. Please take a seat. All of us got our bags and sat down. Good job, he said. It looks like we're ready to begin. I can't wait to see what kind of wonderful things you're thankful for. He pointed to Roger. Roger, would you like to start us off? He said. Roger's face looked sickish. Why? He said. Why me? I didn't even raise my hand. Mr. Scary smiled. I know you didn't, Roger, he said. I just thought you might like to start us off, that's all. Roger did a gulp. He said, well, I wouldn't. Mr. Scary stopped smiling. Okay, it wasn't really a question, Roger, he explained. I would like you to go first. Roger's face got sweaty on it. He just kept sitting there. Mr. Scary crossed his arms at him. Roger, we're waiting. Finally, Roger did a big, deep breath. Then he stood up real slow, and he picked up his thankful bag. It looked empty-ish. Well, mostly. I'm just thankful for this thankful bag, he said. He held it out in front of him, and he gave it a little shake. I don't know why I like this bag so much, but I'm just really, really thankful for it, he said. He did a pause. The end, he said. Then he quick sat back down. Mr. Scary frowned. Really, Roger? Seriously, he said. In your whole life, you're only thankful for the plastic bag I gave you yesterday. That's it. Roger stood up again. Well, no, I'm thankful for other stuff too, he said. Mr. Scary raised his eyebrows. Like? Roger's face got stressed in it. Like. He quick looked all around himself. Then all of a sudden he stretched out the bottom of his t-shirt. Like this t-shirt I'm wearing. I'm very thankful for this t-shirt. Roger's face got sweatier. This t-shirt is, he looked at it harder. White, he said. Mr. Scary nodded real slow. Yes, we can see that, Roger. Roger kept stretching his shirt. Then he turned up the bottom, and he read the tag. Machine wash. Warm. Lay flat to dry. He read. After that, he stretched out the back of the neck, and he read us that tag too. Boys, size 6 to 8, he read. Made in, Mr. Scary quick held up his hand. That's enough, Roger, he said, very sternish. Roger kept on standing there. Honduras, he said. Mr. Scary snapped his loud fingers. Roger sat down. Show and tell was not off to a good start. Dun, dun, dun. next video. Stay tuned for chapter 4.